Starr here for the New World News Network. So, this video I figured I would go in on our girl, Taylor Swift. I'm pretty sure I did a video in the past about how the alt-right, before the alt-right was sort of branded as super white supremacist and everything like that, they sort of adopted Taylor Swift, our girl, you know, that whole bit, because her whole background, the wearing long dresses, numerous reasons, and eventually it turned into like a trolling campaign where people would take Taylor Swift songs and they would put make Hitler memes with the Taylor Swift lyrics and everything like that. Actually, I remember the video where I discussed this, and it was in an interview with Martina. And speaking of which, I'm going to do a video on the latest hit piece on her, which is a wonderful piece of comedy. So, I just figured I would get into this. Now, my opinion on Taylor Swift, I really like her old stuff. Really like the old stuff. The ballads, I love a good ballad. I have a hopeless romantic side. You might not think it with all the tattoos and me being a gangster and all that shit, but I do. And, Begin Again, oh my god. That one part where she's like, and I love the way you shake my father's hand, talking about watching old Christmas movies. I mean, what more Western traditional Americana could you get than those Taylor Swift songs singing about courtship? And I mean, her songs are so anti-hookup culture as far as that older stuff. How could she not be embraced by the alt-right, conservatives, the whole right spectrum? So, this of course has created a problem with liberals, because while the right has sort of adopted Taylor Swift, and I mean she's a country singer, so obviously, it's leaving a bad taste in people's mouths, and there's just been a slew of leftist articles like this one, and I'll show some of the other ones, going through, and of course now she's dropping a new album called Reputation, and so now everyone's going on trying to define her reputation. So we go through this, and it talks about, you know, the Kanye, Kim thing and everything like that, and it's the 5 things Taylor Swift should have addressed on Reputation but didn't. Now, the thing that really bothers me about all of this, and I think it's a common thread between a lot of the videos I'm going to be doing this evening, entitlement. That these people feel as if they are owed something. And even in this, you'll see this sort of tiptoe walk where it's like, well, Taylor Swift should have done this and should have done this and should have took the opportunity to do this. But I'm not saying she has to do any of the things she should have done. I'm just saying she should have done it. Go fuck yourself. That's all there is to it. This is bullying. And this is the other thing that these leftists sort of do, where they have this mindset. I have a friend I've been trying to explain this to, and I think he's slowly seeing it, and I've slowly been able to illustrate it to him through the stuff with Martina. But it's like, unless you're on the right side, it's very hard to see that the left does all this women, gays, trans, and all this other stuff. And then, if you are gay, trans, black, female, or whatever, and don't fall in accordance to what they do, suddenly all of their, you know, like, for example, Donald Trump can fight back against Rosie O'Donnell or anyone like that. Rosie O'Donnell could call him absolutely everything. She could call him a rapist, a molester, or whatever. And Donald Trump could just be like, you're fat, ugly, and no one likes you. And then it's, he's a sexist, misogynist pig. How dare he talk to a woman like that? And then, of course, so I mean, the same people that would be saying that are going to be the ones saying, well, Taylor Swift should have done this, Taylor Swift should have done that, Taylor Swift should have done that, but if any man tells Taylor Swift what to do, well, that's mansplaining, and I'm just looking out for her as a feminist. Like, they don't realize they do everything they accuse everyone else of doing. bite your fucking tongue. That's going to be another one. You know how I have these sayings, and hopefully I'll get them all up on some shirts. Pump the brakes, bite your fucking tongue is a new one. I got a video about misgendering, where as far as misgendering goes, bite your fucking tongue. You know who I'm talking to. You know who I'm talking to. So anyway, first thing, her decision to remain apolitical during the 2016 election. She didn't come out and say either which way. She did post this thing showing that she was voting. Now, here's the funny thing. Remember I was saying I like Taylor Swift's old stuff? The new stuff that I don't like all has this common thread. It's all produced by Lena Dunham's boyfriend. He ruined Lorde. Oh, how's Lorde doing? Is that new album anywhere on par with Royals or her old material? Nope. Nope. Taylor Swift's new shit, is it doing anything on par with her old stuff? Nope. I mean, industry bigwigs. Whose dick is Jack Antonoff sucking? Just tell me. What is he? Is blowing Dr. Luke? I mean, whose dick is he sucking? Jimmy Iovine? Whose dick? Because nothing else explains this. This is awful music. Look what you made me do. Come on. Or that, I stay up too late. Oh my god, garbage. Garbage. Wish You Would, great song. Style, great song. All that other shit, I mean, there might be 1 in 100 songs that Antonoff gets okay. But I mean, he's dating Lena Dunham, so you really don't even have to say anything more of that. So anyway, they saw this. Here's another funny thing about the left. All day long, they will accuse people of dog whistling. And then this, they say, oh, Taylor Swift is wearing this. It's a sweater with no sleeves. Look, Lena Dunham made this post showing how the sweater with no sleeves is a dog whistle to support Hillary Clinton because Hillary Clinton once wore a sweater with no sleeves. This is also why these guys exist in this conspiracy land where someone could go on record 100 times against white supremacy, but if they like a tweet by someone who once liked a tweet of another guy who likes a white supremacist, you're then a white supremacist. Because they function in this dog whistle coded conspiracy mentality, so they believe that's what everyone else is doing as well. Maybe Taylor just liked the sweater. Maybe she was just doing it so Lena wouldn't give her crap because she's friends with her, and then she went in and voted for Trump. Who knows? Who cares? But, as you see here, some people interpreted this. But it's also fair to but was it really enough? Taylor's not required to be vocal about her politics. Oh, no, she's not, but we're just going to write an article as the top 5 things she should have done. And like I said, say she should have done this, but then say she doesn't have to, so we don't look like we're bullying, woman-splaining cunts. It's also fair to side-eye and question her decision to remain silent. This is their other idea that silence is complicit. Like, you're complicit if you're silent. Let's see. Just this month, the ACLU released a statement admonishing Taylor for what it saw as an attempt to silence constitutionally protected free speech after the singer's legal team demanded that a blogger retracted a post about Swift and white supremacists. Taylor's sweet victim image is the perfect vehicle and metaphor for white supremacists' perceived victimization, the blogger Megan Herring wrote for Popfront. Whether she likes it or not, Taylor's politics or her perceived political apathy are a part of her reputation, and a song addressing or at least acknowledging that would have been welcomed. So, again, and I had an article up, over here. Taylor Swift could say nothing, and that's the problem. Not doing anything is the problem to these people. You can't win. So, then there's, this shit about a relationship, not really interesting stuff. Her problematic feminism. And this is because they see Taylor as her music video's tall, white, thin girl squad. There's no one right way to be a feminist, of course, but when you've built a brand on female empowerment, it's certainly worth taking a beat and considering your critics. Taylor's failure to do so has a huge impact on her reputation, blah, blah, blah. And then this Katy Perry nonsense. So anyway, there's a much better article on all of this, and you can see all the hit pieces. Taylor Swift smart to remain apolitical. Taylor Swift's political silence sparks belief she voted Trump. Taylor Swift will never be your feminist hero, but who cares? The View jabs at apolitical singer Taylor Swift. Progressive media attacks Taylor Swift. It goes on and on. There's a bunch of these. So anyway, National Review did this good piece. Feminist bizarre crusade against Taylor Swift. And it basically just goes through. And this I like in the beginning. Who said it? Benito Mussolini or Bustle? Everything within the state, nothing outside the state, nothing against the state. Trick question. Mussolini said it, but today's feminists think it. They're the Mussolinis. For feminists these days, no acceptable person can exist outside their state, which is a state of anti-Donald Trump rage, which naturally turns their thoughts to Taylor Swift. So then it goes through, she's released her new album, she's enraging feminists because she refuses to take a stand on politics. Who can blame her? Republicans buy tickets to why alienate 63 million voters, or perhaps you want to sit down for the shocker, maybe she just isn't a particularly political person. More than 100 million Americans eligible to vote in 2016 didn't. Regardless of the identity of the person in the Oval Office, Swift may have noticed life goes on more or less the same. So anyway, let's go through. Swift is in the absurd position of generating headlines by saying nothing. Taylor Swift's silence on politics generates speculation that she secretly voted Trump. Read a New York Daily News headline 2 months ago. It's instructive that the implication here is that it's safe, normal, and routine for celebrities to announce she's backing Hillary Clinton, and equally instructive that it would be problematic to be one of the 63 million Trump voters. Jezebel, which years ago called Swift, then 20, a feminist nightmare for singing about boys, this year suggested Swift needs to speak out against white supremacists. When you speak out against this non-threat, you legitimize it. I mean, these guys have done a great job propelling Richard Spencer into predominance, and they lack the self-awareness to see that they are the ones that have built him this soapbox to stand on. Their insane reactions. I mean, I forget who said it first, but when the whole thing with Richard Spencer in Florida went down, what they did was they made Richard Spencer's brand of white supremacy or ethno-nationalism or identitarianism really sexy to rebellious white kids who are being told that they are the problem in the world. And they don't realize that's what they're doing. And maybe some of them do. Maybe some of them realize that they are building up this villain and just going to use it to smear out onto the rest of everyone. So anyway, Daily Beast Amy Zimmerman castigated Swift for not backing Hillary Clinton. Taylor Swift wasn't just not with her, she didn't even know her, tagged the pop star with using the Craven calculus to winning brownie points without offending her most offensive fans. And Swift, by not speaking out against the alt-right, stood at risk of alienating all of her queer, trans, black, Latino, undocumented, Muslim, and indigenous fans. Undocumented is a fucking category now? Go suck on a shotgun. Avoiding alienating anybody isn't an option, apparently. You must alienate the right millions of people. A Bustle editor, Katie Griffiths, humps that although it's nice that Swift calls herself a feminist, one of the main problems with Swift feminism is it's always been centered on white feminism. I mean, again, you don't talk about people dividing everyone. We've now created divisions of feminism. Jordan Peterson does a really good talk on this where he talks about how you can divide the groups and then subdivide them and then subdivide them and then subdivide them until you are eventually just left with individuals. Now, the right wing's main focus is on individualism. And these guys are just taking the most lengthy ass backwards way to get there and pitting everyone against each other and dividing them the whole way along. Yet, Swift, of course, also isn't allowed to use any idea that has ever been associated with a black person. A BuzzFeed headline insists using a Trumpish formulation that many have called Swift's video for "Look What You Made Me Do" an example of cultural appropriation, saying that Swift, a white artist, is co-opting black culture to sell records. Griffiths calls out Swift for adherence to a heretical domination of feminism, using the word and the ideology to build up her brand and sell concert tickets without putting in the political work. Though Swift sent a message of support to the Women's March, whose organizing purpose was to publicly show disgust with Trump. She must be denounced for not explicitly denouncing Trump. Implied disapproval? Not enough. Another Bustle writer, Rachel Simone, deplores Swift as a fake feminist and too problematic for even her most diehard fans to defend, citing along with Swift's various silly tabloid feuds and other celebrities for deafening silence during the 2016 election. Your silence might be deafening when you're credibly accused of serious misbehavior and you refuse to answer, but when you avoid a topic that makes everybody angry, your silence might more accurately be labeled as soothing. And wise. Swift's former competitor for the title of America's Pop Princess, Katy Perry, has done herself no favors by turning overly political. In angry woke mode, her career is in sharp decline. And there's a whole article on this about how no one likes the new Katy Perry. That's just all there is to it. I used to really like Katy Perry's albums. Again, lots of good Dr. Luke produced tracks on them. Teenage Dream's an amazing song. Hummingbird Heartbeat, amazing song. Circle the Drain. The Teenage Dream album is like pop music perfection. The one after it with California Girls and all that, or maybe California Girls was on Teenage Dream. The one after it, anyway, was alright, but I mean, it went, I mean, its first album, Pieces of You. No, that's not one of her songs. Fingerprints. That was a good track on the first album. All that I Kissed the Girl stuff, not so good. Anyway, Katy Perry nowadays, though, awful. Check this article, and it's just ridiculous. So anyway. As Katie Yoder writes in the Washington Post, shouldn't feminists allow Swift simply to be who she wishes? Isn't self-determination the goal? Instead, today's feminists only support women who agree with them, vocally, frequently, and on demand. Attempting to extract declarations of loyalty oaths doesn't sound much like liberation. It sounds like oppression. You do, Tay-Tay, continue to ignore the Bussolinis. And that's the reality of it. And, it comes, I think we're going to, oh, of course, look at this. All of Taylor Swift's videos are racist and or sexist. Oh, man. As you can see. I mean, it doesn't even matter what you do. People are gonna take it whichever way they want. So, you're a fool to give in to these people. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to get to in this video. The attack on Taylor Swift and how it's just the newest victim of feminist outrage. So, like the video, comment. I have a Patreon now. If you got some money, run your shit. And hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Check the links below. Do it up. Make music great again. Hopefully coming out by the end of this year. I'm trying to wrap it up for you guys, but I don't have time for everything. So also, that being said, if anyone would like to check out my website, was it JamieStarr.net or .org? You see the little subcategories. I have a record label. I have a gaming website. I have a health, nutrition, men's fitness website. I have a news site. If anyone would like to help contribute to any of that stuff and help me build this empire, this media empire, to have something in place of collapsing Hollywood and everything like that, hit me up. I need all the help I can get. If people know how to code apps, if there's ghostwriters out there, I have book ideas, I have app ideas. I'm overflowing with creative energy and just visions of the future, and I cannot do it all with my own two hands. I don't have the talent, I don't have the resources, and I don't have the time, and that's why I turn to you guys. So anyway, take care. Have a good one, everyone.